London. What more is there to say? It is futuristic. It is diverse. It is majestic. London is the capital of England and Great Britain. Home of Britain's politics and culture. Stereotype central with its red double-decker buses and red telephone boxes. When you visit, you won't even realise that you're eating crumpets for breakfast and having chippies for tea. Plus, you'll be drinking loads of cuppas throughout the day. It just has that effect on you. Also, if you can get away from that form of hypnotism, then you'll be swarmed by a protest or fine dining with the Prime Minister or the Queen. It is definitely a place vibing with confidence, which is the reason why I am discussing the most must-see spots of London today. Hello everyone, I am Lewis, you are watching Lost in Travel, and welcome back to another list. I wish you've been enjoying the other forms of content I've been bringing out to this channel. Well, I can't really get out a vlog for you all, which I'm able to get back to very soon, as the weather is definitely brightening up, and the days are getting really long as of late, which is why, guys, the shades are making a return. Oh yeah, I'm cool, am I? Fix my hat. Nevertheless, the NC500 list was really fun to make, and I appreciate all the support I got on that. If you haven't seen that, then please click the eye that has just came up above my head to get taken to that video. It is very different to what I'm going to be speaking about today, so I definitely consider giving it a watch. Similarly to the NC500 list though, there is a lot to discuss. Therefore, please give this video a like and a subscribe if you found this list insightful and if you are eagerly waiting to get back outdoors again. And now with that being said, let's move on to the most must-see places in London. The Sky Garden. Firstly, I want to mention the Sky Garden, also known as the walkie-talkie. This is due to its unique shape, Roger. No, so you can talk to someone through a walkie-talkie, Roger, Roger. This building is found in central London and gives off incredible panoramic views of the entire city, which really helps increase that eagerness to go to all of these landmarks that you can see later on your trip. Also standing at 525 feet tall, this offers some vast sights, giving you an eagle's eye view of the entire River Thames Pier. I absolutely loved my journey up to the Sky Garden. The views mixed with the calm nature within the garden, it definitely felt like a haven in the centre of the capital. You can also eat in the restaurant, but I can't recommend it as I was there a bit slightly earlier than lunch. So if anyone has eaten there, then please leave a comment down below telling anyone what it was like, and maybe someone might consider eating up in the skies as well. Regardless, the Sky Garden is free, and therefore the views can be shared by all. Piccadilly Circus. Piccadilly Circus is certainly the most vibrant and alive road junction I have ever visited. Built in 1819, it was created to join Regent Street with Piccadilly, to some people's surprise. There is no circus there. We are definitely clowns for assuming so. Instead, the word circus is derived from the Latin word circle. Nevertheless, Piccadilly Circus was definitely gleaming with atmosphere. It is suffused of billboards, of all sorts of advertisements, and kinda represents London's version of Times Square in all honesty. Definitely a must-see while touring London, and whilst you're there, why don't you grab a bite to eat at Hard Rock Cafe? I'm not sponsored, just a big fan. The Shard. There is always something satisfying about seeing noteworthy landmarks, am I right? Somewhere either rich with history or a sign of achievement. Well, the Shard is the latter. Opening in 2014, the Shard got acknowledged as the United Kingdom's tallest skyscraper. Towering at a monumental 1,016 feet, the Shard is definitely representing the future of London. a place where even the buildings share diversity. Amongst the olden architecture of one of England's most ancient cities is extraordinary skyscrapers, proving that London is ahead of its game. They are definitely not the biggest eye candy in the city. That award would go to Boris. But it is easy to see why architects now go with this approach. Less wide, but more dramatic in height, offers up more open space for more buildings to be built. It is a very successful approach. They may not be as cool as some of the buildings that are sparked with London's heritage, but there is something satisfying about staring at the crystal-like shard building, which will leave you in a state of amazement that these buildings truly exist. Trafalgar Square. Trafalgar Square was one of the last places I visited on my trip to London last summer, but it is certainly not one of the least. This is an encapsulating public space in the city of Westminster. The fountains sprinkling, the mighty lions watching, and Nelson's column rocketing into the sky. This is a great place to chill out in the summer weather, appreciating the only few days of no rain, and eating a sausage roll or something. Additionally, it has such an artistic aura to the square. Art galleries, museums, and some sort of ice cream sculpture with a drone stuck in it encloses this public space into such a perfect setting to be creative and write a poem like the academic you were born to be. The square got its name to commemorate the Battle of Trafalgar victory that occurred in 1805. And don't worry, there used to be an apocalypse of pigeons. However, pigeon feeding was banned in the early 21st century, as the poop was ruining poor old Nelson's luxurious hair. How dare you, pigeons! So definitely consider checking out this section of London, as it's a great place to get away from the hustle and bustle of one of the UK's busiest cities. The London Underground. Another place that gets you away from the hustle and bustle would be if you go down under. And no, I don't mean Australia. Maybe it's because we don't have an underground system in Edinburgh, but I do consider the London Underground a must-see. The city has cemented it into their accomplishments. They have even made merchandise out of the transportation system. Just look at this slightly inappropriate gift of the year in 2013. Anyways, the Tube is a fantastic method to travel around London if you want to be fast at the speed of light. Plus, for the photography lovers, it is a brilliant place to test out your long exposure shots. Definitely a pivotal landmark to London's history and beyond. The Natural History Museum. It might just be that I love learning about history and all things dinosaurs a bit too much, but I do consider the Natural History Museum one of the best places to go when you're in London. If I lived in London, I don't think I'd leave it, in all honesty. The amount of information and the areas of the world you will learn about is boundless. Even as an earthquake simulator, who doesn't want to try that? Plus, the entrance is infamous for enchanting visitors to the epic education center. Heading up the escalators is like a gateway to heaven, more so when you see what the building looks like on the outside. As not only is the interior filled with a complex design and whale fossils, but the exterior is visually impressive. It instantly puts you in a trance and makes you waltz through those doors. Such a beautiful building. You have done us all proud, Charles Darwin and Richard Owen. The London Eye. It may just be a Ferris wheel to some, but it definitely was London eye-opening to me. The London Eye, also known as the Millennium Wheel, is a 443 feet tall Ferris wheel found directly opposite the Houses of Parliament on the River Thames Pier. It was the world's tallest observation wheel when it opened in 2000. However, it has been surpassed over the years and is currently lying at the 4th tallest. The London Eye is another one of those things that gets placed straight into the gift shops. Who wouldn't want to buy a London Eye Illuminati shirt? No wonder it is one of the most famous attractions in the city. It was only supposed to be there for 5 years, but undoubtedly it had to stay permanently, as it managed to loop 30 million people by 2008. This wheel is rather pricey for the duration that you get, but it surely offers some of the most spectacular views of the city. Moreover, this wheel is so much taller than what you'd expect, and therefore just getting your eyes on this behemoth is a prize in itself. Notting Hill / Kynance Mews. Next up, I wanted to appreciate two of the cutest streets found in the capital. Notting Hill and Kynance Mews both teleport you into some sort of anime world where you are just riding your bicycle down the street with a cat in your basket. You all know what I mean, right? Notting Hill is a vibrant area lining the bohemian port of Ellow Road, which is famed for its antiquity and vintage fashion. Casual cafes line the street and make it the best place to grab a scone and another cup of tea. Definitely the trend or hipster kid at school. Then we have Kynance Mews. Found in South Kensington, Kynance Mews will relax anyone who strolls down its street, with the only sounds you'll hear are bees buzzing and birds tweeting. Definitely the quiet rich kid that may steal your girlfriend. Kynance Mews is certainly a hidden gem in one of London's more posh districts. Now I am just waiting to see Kynance Mewtwo. Buckingham Palace / St James's Park. One of the biggest tourist attractions in London, and is notable for getting over 1 million photos on Instagram per year, including a few of my own. Buckingham Palace is definitely one of the major must-sees in the city. Known for its elegance and its pride, Buckingham Palace is the official residence for Queen Elizabeth II, and is definitely a majestic place to call home. People visit the palace's walls to try to capture the breathtaking building, pull funny faces at the royal guards, and try to witness the Queen playing Twister with the Duke of Edinburgh. Or she might just be on her Wii. Did you know that the Queen owns a Wii? Furthermore, I think the mystery of the inside attracts the tourists in its masses. Only people invited are allowed to enter the huge gardens, and as a result, what we see at the front is all we know about this magnificent building. On the other hand, we do have other gardens at our leisure, as in St James's Park. Opened to the public in 1880, these 57 acres are the heart of ceremonial London. The park is literally the gardens of the monarchy, and as a result you will see some exotic wildlife as you stroll towards Buckingham's gentle flower beds. OMG, count the pigeons! Parakeets, black swans and pelicans all call St James's Park their home, and I think you should call it your home for at least an hour of your trip. Tower Bridge. What is more traditional London than Tower Bridge? The River Thames has a glorious 35 bridges to choose from, but Tower Bridge is certainly the best. This suspension bridge is unique, captivating and a treasured part of the city. Opened in 1894, the bridge ranges at 800 feet in length, and the towers are 270 feet tall respectively. It also has a ceremonious history, surviving World War II, being infamously known for that traditional historic London shot of the blips soaring above. Furthermore, in history, it was well known for an incident that happened when the bridge started to open up, as it does, but instead of being safe to do so, a bus was still trying to make its way over the River Thames. And like an episode of EastEnders, the driver had to make a quick reaction and accelerate across to the other side of the bridge. What a sight that would have been to behold. It actually is still a sight to behold. During my trip there last summer, I watched the bridge open up to give the boats way across to the other side of the river, and it was quite the fashionable spectacle to watch. I highly recommend timing your visit for that. The Houses of Parliament / Big Ben. Another prominent landmark in the City of London is the Houses of Parliament and Big Ben. Big Ben is a clock tower, not just a 7-foot Benjamin who lurks around the Parliament building 24/7 like a creep. Anyhow, despite your opinions on British politics, that is a story for another time. The place that they do their work, or hardly do their work, is a stunning piece of architecture. The building stretches down the Westminster side of the River Thames and is certainly a building you can't miss when you're in London. Even with Big Ben under construction, and it should have its lift built very soon, it stands with all its glory. The building is also a big part of franchising in London. You can kind of see a British trend here. The dawn of Big Ben is basically the city's national anthem, and that was terribly worded. And you can also buy some merchandise like some of the other London landmarks on this list. Let's see what we can get, shall we? Enough said about this clock tower. I mean clock tower, the better. St. Paul's Cathedral. Finally, let's move on to my personal favourite must-see of London. St. Paul's Cathedral. I think this cathedral is severely underrated, and it blew my expectations when I got to glance at it for the first time last year. For a cathedral design, which are all wondrous feats of history and passion, this one raised the level. The brickwork, matched with the chill setting and the ancient aura that cloaks it. It was very satisfying to photograph after a day of capturing skyscrapers and futuristic mojos. St. Paul's Cathedral has been at the heart of London basically since the very beginning to some extent. Many fires have caught into this architectural masterpiece over the years, but it has always returned upgraded and better than ever. When I return, I would definitely consider to visit St. Paul's Cathedral again. And I'll hopefully be able to go inside and be amazed at the interior, as I didn't get to do that on my last visit. Therefore, only being able to see part of this cathedral and peeking it this high on my list does prove my point. St. Paul, I thank you for gifting us with this magical building in London. And there we have it. I hope that this has helped you plan your extravagant trip to the British capital someday. If it has, then please smash that like button to pledge your support, and give me a follow on Instagram at LostInTravel.Blog to see all of my photos I took on my most beautiful trip last August. That is going to be the end of list videos for the time being, as it was recently announced that COVID restrictions may be easing very shortly, which means I will be able to go outside and vlog for you all very, very soon. I am super excited to be able to film outdoors again and direct this channel into the way I want it to be. So if you haven't subscribed yet, I'd highly appreciate it if you do, so you don't miss my very first vlog adventuring around somewhere in Fife, which is my local council area. Anyways, have a great day everyone, and I will catch us all in the very near future. Bye!
Why can't we be friends? It was so much easier before we got our feelings hurt, and I can't pretend that it's easy. Why